Hey Bayek, it's me Ian. And in today's video, well, I'm continuing my look at the Hammer House of Horror TV series. And this is episode 12, The Two Faces of Evil. And this, of course, is from 1980. It was transmitted on the 29th of November 1980 on ITV, of course. Now, previously we had episode 11, which was A Visitor from the Grave. And the next one is the final 13th episode of this series, which will be The Mark of Satan. All right. So, this is 52 minutes long. It's written by Ranald. Yes, Ranald Graham, not Ronald. He's from Borneo, I think, originally. So there we are. That's the name. He was a writer, TV producer, various series. So he wrote this. Then we've got director Alan Gibson. He previously had directed episode 7, The Silent Scream, which is an absolute classic. Well, they all are, really. Yes. But in terms of his connection with Hammer, he directed the brilliant Dracula AD 1972. And of course, The Satanic Rites of Dracula from 1973. So he's very much got a Hammer background. So now I'll go into the cast. The main sort of ones. It's a bigger cast than this, but I'm just reading out a few of the ones that are prominent in the film. All right. So we've got Anna Calder Marsh playing Janet. She's great. She's great in this role. Previous cinema films are, in fact, Wuthering Heights from 1970, where she played Kathy. And guess who was opposite as Heathcliff? Timothy Dalton. Yes, the wonderful Timothy Dalton. Yeah, that's a major film that she was in. She was also in just a recently released film called Sweet Sue, which was in December 2023. So that's not that long ago. And that is also a film, not a TV film, though I think there is some BBC funding on this. It must have had limited release probably, but yeah, it's still a feature film. But a career really is all about so many TV series appearances, and she's a quality actress, really, yeah. Then we've got another crucial role is Gary Raymond. Now, Gary Raymond plays Martin, Janet's husband. His career, in fact, goes right back to 1956. Yeah, so he's quite a veteran on this. Now, his films I've just mentioned, Look Back in Anger, 1959, is in that. El Cid, yeah. El Cid is in that, 1961. That's Charlton Heston, I think, and Sophia Loren. And also, well, an absolute classic, I'm going to say it, Jason and the Argonauts, 1963. Oh, yes, I love that film. Who doesn't? Yeah. It's an amazing film, great film, that. And then he was in, perhaps considered one of the best biblical story transfers to film, is The Greatest Story Ever Told. He played Peter in that in 1965. Yeah, that's a really classic film about Jesus. It's a really good film, that one, and some great actors in there. And from this, he just career developed all in lots of TV series. There's really good TV quality shows and TV from movie films. Great, really great to see. And in this role, he has to play it a certain way, and he does very good. Then we have got Paul Hawkins, who plays the boy David. His career just is really it's not a massive amount, but he was in various TV series and TV films. And then we've got Pauline Delaney, who plays the sister in the hospital, who's quite a sort of, I don't know, a bit of a sinister kind of character. Definitely. She goes back to 1954. And films that are perhaps the prominent film I can find as a feature film that she was in was Nothing But the Best, a comedy from 1964, which starred Alan Bates and Denham Elliott. Oh yeah, Denham Elliott. Remember, he's been in this series of stories. He was in Rude Awakening, if you remember. Rude Awakening, yeah, wonderful. And she also is just another one that's so many TV series and TV films. Yeah. And then in another kind of interesting role, again, it's not big, but it's quite interesting, the way she plays it, is Brenda Cowling. Brenda Cowling plays Nurse Davies. And her career, wow, she stretched right back. She was in, she started in 1950. Yeah, 1950. She was in the TV adaptation film Please Sir, 1971. You know, when they were saying they're always adapting these TV shows into films, show at the cinema. Well, she was in Please Sir. She was also in, yes, a Carry On film, Carry On Girls, where she played a matron in 1973. Yes. And then, now this is a film that is quite well known. She was in The Wall, Pink Floyd's The Wall film, yeah, starring Bob Geldof, and that was from 1982. And then, if you're a James Bond fan, well, here we are. Octopussy, 1983, Roger Moore's Bond. She's in that. Wow, that's great. Now, locations again, as usual. Hampden House in Buckinghamshire, Great Hampden, Buckinghamshire, and Great Missenden, Buckinghamshire. Yes, because they were so fortunate they had all these surrounding areas to do all this wonderful filming, which they did. So, let me get into the story. Now, it starts in quite a dramatic fashion, really. We see an hitchhiker in this sort of yellow raincoat, all with a hood, and you don't see a face, but you just see this. And a family driving by, father, his wife, and son, they decide to give him a lift. He gets in the car, and then he attacks him, and we can never see the face, but it just his fingernail is he just attacks him. I know this sharp fingernail, and obviously, he really hurts him, and the car goes off. It's all fascinating stuff, because then you see the aftermath of the accident, and after the credit, the introduction, we go to the scenes in the hospital, and the mother Janet and the son David, they've not really had much injury at all. They've come out of it, but her husband, he's in this bed. His face looks quite scratched, damaged, and he's got his throat. He can't really talk much, and he's there. But then she talks about this hitchhiker who they picked up, and she goes and identifies him, or she doesn't really know what he looks like, but she goes to the morgue and sees him, and he's identical to her husband. And this is a very strange. I don't think she can quite believe it. She goes. They take her husband. Eventually, is allowed to go with her to another house, and they have a nurse will come in and check him out and what have you. And so she goes to live with him. But then she starts to get a bit freaked out. Something's not right. And then she noticed one of his fingernails is very large and pointed. And she goes back to the morgue and looks at him, and he's got these awful teeth. And her husband's not got teeth like that. But then she goes back, and her husband has got teeth like that. And then this is how it all develops. It escalates. It all escalates from this about the whole story is all about doppelgangers, really, and the evil side of this, and everything is sinister. And it leads to a very sort of almost bleak, kind of terrifying conclusion. And this is really good stuff. It's very scary. For TV, this is amazing. And it's one that I'll remember so well as well. It really sticks in my head because it's something I'd not seen before. And this idea is really a very interesting idea. And what I liked is the director, right from the beginning, you knew things were not quite right. And when we went to the hospital, the sister in charge, kind of a very sinister way. And the way he directed is brilliant. And also the doctors, everybody doesn't look quite how they should be. And just, you're thinking there is something going on here. And then, of course, when you see that, the body being a duplicate, really, of her husband, it really starts to hit home. Yeah, it's brilliantly done, the way it all unfolds and the twists and turns, and it is very sinister. So this is a great story, and of course it's the penultimate one in the whole of the TV series, and it's a great story. I loved it, and it's creepy as hell, and yeah, definitely. So what I normally do is, yes, here it is. There's the network Blu-ray of this series, and how wonderful it is. I've enjoyed doing these, and so there's only one more left. Yes, no, next week will be the last one. Anyhow, that's it. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and then we'll let you know when I put out these videos. Also, if you like this one, please give it a like. And say, if you subscribe as well, you get to look at what else I do in the channel you might find that's interesting, and all that kind of thing. So if you give it like, it gets into algorithms and all that stuff, and it's all good, supposedly. Yes. And if you got any comments, please put some comments down, because I really love reading your comments. It's great, your comments. And so it all costs notes, so buy it. That's not bad, is it? It's not at all. Anyhow, that's it. So all I gotta say is, I'll see thee again.